Hello, this is Matt on the Moon Lambeau channel. Today, attorney John Deaton said, and this is a quote, that the SEC may have, quote, unintentionally provided Ripple and XRP with the gift of clarity, end quote. And of course, this has to do with reaching finality regarding the SEC v. Ripple case. And I'm going to share with you exactly what he said in full context. But that's not all. You know, right, that attorney John Deaton has been warning for almost 2 years at this freaking point that the SEC's attack against Ripple and XRP holders is not limited to just Ripple and just XRP holders. It's something that is impactful for the entire crypto space. And those people that thought it was ridiculous that many of us, including myself here in the XRP community, were warning, hey, okay, even your mega ETH holders, and I'm an ETH holder, mind you, I said the same thing. I was like, if you think that there's no chance the SEC is going to come after ETH, like you are not thinking big enough. You are not seeing what a monster the SEC has become. You do not understand Kim Jong-Gensler, the SEC supreme dictator and ruler, who's on your screen right now, and I'm very sorry for that. I'll get him off as quickly as I can. Here, actually, let's just scroll down a little bit so you don't have to deal with that. Whew, that's a lot better. So I want to share with you what John Deaton had to say on this topic, because, sorry, I got to scroll back up, because here's the headline from Decrypt. SEC claims all of Ethereum falls under U.S. jurisdiction. And this has to do with ETH transferring from proof of work to proof of stake. I want to share with you exactly what attorney John Deaton had to say about this. And so this story broke a couple days ago, and John Deaton's comments from that are from yesterday. And then I got the stuff from today about what's this all mean for XRP? Well, the gift of legal clarity may be upon us, and you can imagine exactly what that's going to mean. And then also, some people have been wondering, what about the SEC v. Library case? You know, the judge said that by this past Friday, there would be a decision on the case. So either there would be summary judgment, or the judge would find that there's too many questions from a legal perspective in terms of the rule of law, and you'd need to have a jury trial, in which case that would launch, I think the date was like October 3rd. So either way, we were supposed to have known by this past Friday, but we don't. So what is actually going on? Well, I'm going to share with you the latest from Library, as well as attorney Jeremy Hogan. He had a bit of insight, and also I think I got something queued up here from XRP community member and attorney Fred Rispoli. But I do want to be clear at the outset, I do not have a legal or financial background of any kind. I am not offering legal or financial advice. And you definitely should not buy or sell anything because of anything I say or write. I'm just an enthusiast who enjoys making YouTube videos about crypto-related topics, but just as a hobby and just for fun. As I'm going to quickly run through a portion of this article from Decrypt about how the SEC is basically coming after ETH, which is totally predictable, by the way. That's effectively what's happening right now. I mean, they're sending them, so not that they've actually filed a lawsuit, just to be clear, they haven't filed a lawsuit against anybody having to do with the ETH platform, but they're claiming jurisdiction. And if you think a lawsuit isn't going to happen, you haven't been listening to Gary Gensler, because there's a really good chance that it is going to happen. In fact, I'd say at this point, it's probable, at least a greater than 50% chance. That would be my for fun guess. Maybe it doesn't happen, but just for fun guess. Well, check out this. When the SEC filed a federal lawsuit Monday against crypto influencer Ian Bellina for his failure to register a cryptocurrency as a security before launching a 2018 initial coin offering, everything at first appeared run-of-the-mill. The SEC has for years filed civil suits against individuals and organizations for rolling out unregistered ICOs. So I'll just pause and note, I'm sure some of you are aware of who Ian Bellina is. He's very famous in the world of crypto. He invested in a ton of ICOs several years ago, and apparently just made millions and millions and millions and millions of dollars, and he was documenting his journey on YouTube along the way. Well, it turns out that he was getting paid, that's what the SEC alleges anyway, he was getting paid to promote at least one coin. I can't remember all the specifics, it was the other day when I read this, but he was promoting something allegedly, getting paid, and then didn't divulge that. And that's a no-no, says the SEC. That's why, like, for me, I swear, there's like a 0% chance that I will ever take money to promote a freaking cryptocurrency. It's like, do you want a target on your back? Like, hell no, I ain't got no damn time for that, I'll tell you what. I mean, simple, reasonable, paid promotions, I have no problem with that, and people that want to monetize their channel additionally that way, like, totally respect it. I've never done it. I don't know, maybe at some point in the future I'll do that. I've always turned down opportunities. But no, when it comes to the coins, that's a hard pass, like, for so many reasons. But anyway, piece continues. Eagle-eyed observers then read a little further into the fine print. In a bold and potentially unprecedented move buried in the lawsuit's 69th paragraph, giggity, the SEC today claimed it had the right to sue Bolina not only because his case concerns transactions made in the United States, but also because, essentially, the entire Ethereum network falls under the US government's purview. How about that? Yes, the SEC is a little grabby on everything. Check this out. In its complaint, the regulator noted that the ETH sent to Bolina was, quote, validated by a network of nodes on the Ethereum blockchain, which are clustered more densely in the United States than in any other country, end quote. The SEC then concludes, and this is another quote, as a result, those transactions took place in the United States, end quote. Because look, as it turns out, that at the time of this publication anyway, 45.85% of all Ethereum nodes operate from the United States. That was according to Etherscan. So they write here, the SEC appears to be suggesting that because of Ethereum's validating nodes currently, more of Ethereum's validating nodes currently operate in the United States than in any other country, all Ethereum transactions globally should be considered of American origin. How do you feel about that? Decentralization at its finest. The SEC, my gosh, the audacity of there's no legal precedent for. They're just making stuff up. I am not cool with this, not in the least. But this is what they're claiming: jurisdictional land grab. And so, Attorney Deaton shared this. There's somebody named Miles who shared that exact story, and John Deaton retweeted that and wrote the following: "Even if you hate Ripple, read this. Miles is 100%. It is very bad for all crypto and must be fought. In the Ripple case, the SEC is arguing if a foreign exchange maintains one server within the United States, it gives the SEC jurisdiction over crypto sales conducted anywhere in the world. Think about the following true facts. Brad Garlinghouse is the CEO of Ripple, a company whose business is 95% outside of the United States as part of his executive compensation, and he is paid in XRP. He sells some of that XRP on an exchange legally licensed and operating in Japan. Japan's Financial Services Agency, FSA for short, is the chief regulator of Japan's financial services industry and has declared XRP a non-security. A Japanese financial institution, SBI, is partners with Ripple and pays its esports team in XRP and provides dividends to employees in XRP. In fact, XRP is so popular in Japan that SBI Holdings CEO Yoshitaka Kitao intends it to be used as the official currency for the World's Fair. He has declared that, quote, every bank in Japan will use Ripple's XRP by 2025, end quote. Brad Garlinghouse uses a legally registered Japanese exchange to sell his legally earned XRP and sells that XRP in a country that specifically declared XRP a non-security. But Gary Gensler and the SEC claim because that exchange might have one server in the United States, it can argue that the XRP Brad legally sold in Japan, XRP that may be used at the World's Fair, was an illegal sale, and because that sale is subject to the jurisdiction of the SEC because of a server. I don't care if you hate Ripple and despise Brad Garlinghouse, you must be outraged at what the SEC is attempting. This argument literally attempts to allow the SEC to supersede a foreign nation's own sovereignty and regulatory framework. It's insane, and Congress does nothing. That's the end of the thread. Now, think about this. Now, clearly, you can already see how wacky and BS nonsense this is. Good news being, and this is my suspicion, not that the SEC wouldn't at some point necessarily in the future make a similar claim with the XRP ledger, but I haven't seen anything even close to that being made, any such claim being made in the SEC v. Ripple lawsuit, so that's good. Also, it would really be a losing battle. Much more so than the case with ETH. In fact, Ripple controls, I believe, 6 validator nodes out of something like I don't know, over 150. So it's somewhere in the neighborhood of 4% of validator nodes. 4%, that's it. So for the SEC to come and be like, well, 4%, that means that it's an American product. Oh my God. The audacity, right? It'd just be offensive, but everything the SEC does is offensive, right? Crazy stuff. So look, we've been warning everybody, haven't we? Even all the ETH people out there. We've been telling them, even if they hate XRP, look, seriously, the vast majority of us don't want bad stuff to happen to ETH, but you should pay attention to this. Maybe get a little bit more vocal about what's happened with XRP because they could come for you next. What do you know? And then there's this, and this gets a little bit more fun. So this is the part having to do with the legal clarity aspect regarding XRP. So check this out. Here's what John Deaton said. This is from today. With Gary Gensler turning out to be the Grim Reaper of crypto, claiming all ETH transactions are subject to U.S. jurisdiction and the merge to proof of stake may have triggered the securities laws, Clayton may have unintentionally provided Ripple and XRP with the gift of clarity. People are making the mistake of thinking that because Ripple's summary judgment brief, if successful, would help and apply to all crypto assets, that the SEC is going to honor that ruling and stop its war on crypto. He won't. The SEC will appeal her decision and continue to file. So I'll just pause to note, and I have off and on for the duration of the stuff leading up to summary judgment to this point anyway, or a potential jury trial. I've been warning that too. Even if it's like, say this thing's fully adjudicated, the SEC is going to suddenly stop being a bunch of pricks. No, they're gonna open up a new asshattery and they'll hire more asshats to do asshat stuff. That's exactly what they'll do. They'll be double the asshattery. It's not gonna slow down. If anything, it'll speed up. You're gonna have to force them to stop this stuff. So, and that's because if you think about it, of course, even when there's what you and I would normally think to be like a final ruling on a topic, you can always appeal. There's all sorts of stuff. You can say that it doesn't even, or you can say it doesn't apply. And actually, so John Deaton gets it. So check this out. John Deaton says the SEC will argue, number one, the judge was wrong and they expect to win on appeal. And number two, the ruling only applies to XRP and not other cryptos. If XRP is declared a non-security, along with Bitcoin, it will now be the only crypto token with absolute regulatory clarity. And so, look, that will be something. And I can only imagine what that would mean in terms of how the markets, like even if you're talking purely speculators globally, how that would make them behave if there's regulatory clarity. And I'd say even whether it's full adjudication, even if there's a looming appeal over it. I mean, I think people still have a lot of confidence once this thing ends up finality. But even more so if settlement occurs. But either way, I'm just sitting here wondering, like, what are speculators actually going to do? It's probably going to get bonkers, would be my suspicion. And John Deaton did clarify later, as far as Bitcoin having clarity, he did end up citing. I just don't want to read the rest of the thread, but he did end up citing. Oh yeah, of course, it's not that there's some sort of official decree that Bitcoin has legal clarity, that it's a commodity, or this or that. It's just that's the way that even Gary Gensler has verbally approached it. So that's more so what he meant. That's all. Just be clear. And then there was also this from Library, because again, this case that we were supposed to have summary judgment by this past Friday, so that's supposed to be the end of the case, unless the judge came back and said, no, there are some questions here we're going to have to hash out. We need a jury trial, in which case that would begin in the beginning part of October, I believe. But the deadline's passed, and there's no word on what's going on. And so Library the other day wrote, we know everyone is eager for an outcome of our case, but we have no news. Sorry. Yeah, and so I'll note that this is important because this will impact the SEC v. Ripple case to some degree, even though it won't result in some sort of binding precedent, but it can influence the judge. There are consequences to be had here. And then Stefan Huber, XRP community member, the other day wrote, did the SEC settle last minute with Library? And I don't know where Stefan got that idea, honestly, but Library just wrote back to that with one word to end the speculation. They just wrote, no. That was it. So unfortunately, according to Library, official Twitter account there, the answer is no, there is no settlement in the works. And then there was also this. So attorney Jeremy Hogan responded to Stefan Huber and wrote, I wouldn't read too much into it. Trial starts October 3rd, which means it could come out anytime prior to that. It really just sucks for the parties who have to be ready to go to trial on the 3rd if both summary judgments are denied. So think about this. On both sides, SEC and library, they have to now continue preparing every single day for this case of crucial importance, just in case it actually goes to trial, even though that's not likely to occur. Just because the judge didn't adhere to his own timeline in terms of when the decision would be made regarding summary judgment. Which is unfortunate, but it is what it is. And then somebody named Gaddy Boy responded to that same comment from Stefan Huber and said, this decision will have as much impact on the crypto space as the Ripple case. Jeremy, because Jeremy Hogan was tagged there. Jeremy, do judges from different cases talk to each other in cases like these with the same similarities? They have to know that these cases are related. Attorney Fred Rispoli responded and wrote, I think Jeremy's comment was more focused on Netburn Torres discussions. It would be out of the ordinary for a New Hampshire judge to call a New York judge to discuss these two cases, but not completely irregular, as parties in both cases have cited each other in their respective cases. And then Attorney Hogan responded to that to add an additional thought, and he said, yes, it would be unusual for a New York judge to call a New Hampshire judge to discuss an issue. Actually, having two jurisdictions with competing viewpoints on a legal issue is somewhat desired, as it highlights to upper courts the need for it to accept an appeal and rule on the issue. So that's where it's going to be coming soon, because either there's going to be summary judgment, it's just going to pop up one day, who knows, maybe it'll even be tomorrow, I don't know, I have no idea. So either that happens or October 3rd rolls around and we got a trial going. But we're going to have finality on this very, very soon. I'll go ahead and wrap up here. I'm not a financial advisor. You should not buy or sell anything because of anything I say or write. That would be a very, very, very bad idea. Until next time, to the moon, Lambo.